that. There's no topic. You're the one.
I hate puppies.
You're the topic, Dave.
Good podcast.
I didn't think we were having it back.
Him?
Yeah.
No,
I feel threatened.
No say Dave.
That nerd just tried to speak Spanish.
He's so cultured.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only multicultural podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what you should be eating and drinking this weekend.
Oh, both.
A little bit of a tease there. That's interesting stuff. I like it. And this week we are graced with the presence of a man with super short hair. His name is Dave.
Me llamo Dave.
Why is his hair so short? Is that,
I don't know.
Is that from Spain? Or did you just get it cut when you got back?
See?
You got it cut.
España.
You got
You
it
got a
cut
haircut in Spain?
See?
That's pretty.
That's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
So hold on, you went to a person to cut your hair. Like, I have to go to the same person, but you went to a person who also doesn't necessarily speak your language.
€8 in Barcelona.
Yeah. This joke has run out, so you're killing the podcast right now. He's not picking up on it. I guess 2 weeks off really.
Minute 23 in, and we're not even allowed to peek.
Yeah.
Me gusto.
All right, let's double down on it.
Okay. Chupa me. I think I said suck me.
Y'all are ruining this, so continue on.
Oh, I don't speak. I believe, in my experience,
Troy es puta.
pequeño. In my experience, though, like, you're speaking like traditional Spanish like you would learn in like high school. I bet the
Maybe
dialect
middle
in
school.
Spain is very different.
I mean, I feel like it's when you have English as a fourth language person shows up at a subway.
Oh, and you drop Mexican Spanish, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, when I was in Costa Rica and dropped my 9th grade Spanish on them, they were like, what?
That's why you dumbasses don't do that.
No, that's why we do it. We push our boundaries, try to explore, try to learn.
People appreciate that.
They do
They
appreciate
appreciate
that.
it more than if you show up and go, hey,
Yeah, and then you're trying to pantomime a beach chair.
yeah, they don't like that. That's what they don't like.
They like when you butcher their language.
Yes.
100%.
Especially when you look like a 17th century Victorian. They clearly know I'm not going to be fluent.
Yeah, every country I've been to, I find that if you start with broken version of their language, they treat you way better than if you come at them with English. And then usually they'll be like, I speak a little English, you moron, because I'm cultured, which we are not. We're just travelers. I'm telling you, this has worked everywhere.
Troy's like, it didn't work like that on Carnival.
He's got this like incredulous look on his face. Like, I've done something horribly wrong.
I just don't think. I think butchering someone's being an American and trying to butcher someone, thinking you speak their language, and just isn't.
All right, so Troy, if a person from Latin America came up to you needing directions and they just started spouting their native language as quickly as possible, would you be more
Why'd
receptive?
you throw the quickly as possible caveat in there?
This is how Americans roll throughout the world.
Would you be more receptive to that or to them look at their phone and go, restroom? Which one are you going to help them out with easier?
Well, I can speak one, so it would be the restroom.
There you go.
And I think
it.
that's the general gist. What they don't like is somebody like showing up and having an ego like, of course you speak my language, I don't speak yours when you're in their country. That's basically the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
It shows ego to do that. I show up and it shows humility to go, I'm stupid.
Yeah, the American reputation precedes the traveler.
Very much so.
So if you can counteract that.
That's always been my experience. Spout a couple words poorly, and then they'll go, okay, dummy.
Well, my point was I wanted to ask about the fucking haircut. And
that's what freaked me out. How does he go into
and now
there?
we're talking about fucking speaking languages because a joke fucking went on too long. Like, I wanted to get to the fucking topic at hand.
I just thought you were taking a counterpoint.
No.
So okay, I think we're good here. Why did you go get a haircut there?
I was in Barcelona. I was getting a little shaggy. My son was super shaggy. And we had that wedding. We didn't have time to get a haircut. And then we're wandering around the city and we saw this place. It was a barber shop and it said men's haircuts, €8. I'm like, I'm in.
And it said it in English?
It just had an 8 and then the euro sign.
What's €8?
Less than $10.
These days, close to a euro is close to $1, more so than it ever was when I was younger. The euro is kind of falling off.
It was under.
I think
10,
it's a bold idea, but I would do it because I'm not particular about my hair. But I just would assume most people wouldn't.
I went to a.
I would assume Dave would have thought about getting a haircut before he went over there.
I definitely thought about it.
I went and got a haircut after when my barber fell ill. I went to get a haircut at a different place because I was like, hey, this place looks cool. Looks like they got it going on. And it kind of had that vibe like all are welcome, you know? And I knew that all the barbers were black, which I'm like, that's actually like they got style. So if they can cut my white boy hair, like I'm good with this. Like I'd like that. I'd like to have a black barber shop that I was accepted in. Weird, but in
Hey
my
guys,
mind,
I have a black barber.
No, it just like just that kind of banter. I was like, this sounds great. I walk in there.
You and your black barber are going to talk about all
Brendan's in
things.
there going, man, cut me some slack, Jack.
Nah, that's
You guys
see,
know I
racist.
grew up on the streets of Chicago, right?
Probably more hood than them.
Yeah.
So I walk in there,
That line will go over.
and these two guys take a look at me and they go, "Look, man, we're all booked up." They were like, "But we do have a guy that can get you right now." And so I go into a black barbershop to get my hair intentionally cut
And you get a
by a
white
black
guy.
man. They send me a Mexican man who literally does not speak English. They were like, "This is for the white folk, I guess." And they hit me up with this dude. And this guy comes out and he's like, "Hola," and I'm like, "Fuck, I don't speak this well enough to
Is
describe."
this the
what I'm-"
place right down the road?
Yeah, up by the Shamrock.
Yes, I've been to that place.
Yes, I mean they.
I went there once.
That's how many times I've been. This dude,
It does look cool. It does have a cool vibe.
it's got a vibe.
It's right back down the road from our house. Like it would be nice
It's got
if it worked
the
out.
vibe. Yes. So I'm like, if I can make this go,
Yeah.
maybe I'm in. But I couldn't make it go. They gave me a Mexican guy who spoke no English. And this guy was like, I'm trying to explain it to him. And I'm like, fade here, do this. And he's like, yeah. Oh, okay, I got this. His wife comes around.
You don't go to those guys and tell them what you want.
Well, I was like, I need to look good. Like I'm in between
But you let
hairstyles
them
anyway.
kind of go. You let the artist
So
cook.
at the end, I let them hand cook.
Yeah.
And he gave me exactly what you would think of for a soccer star's haircut. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was.
It looked good, I'm sure.
On
Like
soccer
the
star.
like the haircut was good.
Oh no, he did a phenomenal job of what he was
I always
doing.
find they over detail.
It was the detail was
They
through the
over
roof.
edge. They over detail.
The edges were tight,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of what I was actually looking for in a black barbershop. They edge so
Yeah.
well, and I was like, yeah. So the edges were super clean, but everything was also down to the nub.
Yeah.
And then he did not take into consideration the fact that I am a man who has a receding hairline. He was like, this would look great on a soccer star, but
Yeah.
not on you.
They didn't airbrush in the hairline.
Dude, no, all that was tight, but up here, you're right. The hairline up here where I'm receding, no, just left exposed.
And it was all white.
When was this?
This was whenever my barber had a.
Because I don't remember you
Hard
getting a bad
episode.
haircut. I mean, no worse than a haircut than you ever get when you go to your.
This was so bad. I came out of there and I was like, all right, I came home and every woman in my house, oh my God, Dad, what is that? My wife was like, what happens here? And I was like, yeah, well, I haven't put product in it.
I lick you boom boom down.
So I fixed it up and I wore a hat then
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you know?
That's always. We got that one in our pocket.
The one good thing about a men's haircut is we're 6 days out from just about any massacre on our head.
Exactly.
From being able to like
Yeah. Yeah.
power through it. But those 6 days are rough.
Yeah.
And I rocked a hat hard.
Well, that's why I went in there. I'm like, I'm 2 weeks away from just
Being back
looking
to normal.
So I went in there. It was really, really nice and clean and high end for €8. And on like, their commercial retail street. And
You went to the haircuttery of Spain.
Probably, but it was nice, and it was nicer than hair cuttery, which I have frequented, and it was like this.
I'm not a hair snob, but I don't even bother with hair cutteries and great clips anymore. Like
I don't blame you.
I've gotten some bad cuts at those places.
Yeah, absolutely. But Dave's cut. Look at this.
Not concerned about bad cuts.
There should be.
I see that.
You walked in.
So this very, very stylish Pakistani guy was there, and I explained, I'm like, all right, we both want, or actually, I gave my son was the guinea pig. I'm like, he wants a 2-guard on the side and then blend it in, and he already had pretty short hair. I was like, just kind of, even out the top. And so he puts him in the chair, and I'm sitting there, and I see the 2-guard come out, and he goes, "Rrr," and does like a bowl around his head. I'm like, uh-oh. This isn't good.
He faded it up, though.
But I already told him, I was like, dude, no matter what happens, 2 weeks, you'll be fine. And he's like, all right, yeah, whatever, man. And he was kind of looking forward to having a bad one. So then, it's dark hair, white scalp.
Skin, yeah.
And then he breaks out a comb and scissors and just goes all the way around. Perfect fucking taper.
He nailed it?
Nailed it.
With scissors?
Yes.
Respect. I'm not mad at that.
It was and he did it in like 30, that part he did in about 30 seconds. He just started from the temple, went all the way around to the other temple. I'm like, oh my God.
He's an artist.
I'm like, okay, I'm in. So I sat down.
I love that this man sent his kid in first so he could figure out what doesn't work, what does work, so he can go back and go, okay, like him.
Yeah.
Half an inch lower, and then clean it up.
Exactly
here.
right. Yeah, I was like, bring it. I was like, see everything that's gray? That's a 2-guard.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, I see your style, and I respect your game.
Yeah.
But you fucked his head up, so we're gonna have to just change that, just adjust it a little bit.
No, his was badass. So then I sit down, and my son had no idea that he looked crazy for like 1 minute. So he sits behind me, and I get in the chair, and he takes care of it. And as we were leaving, my son was like, I thought you were fucked. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I saw all this bright white scalp and dark hair on top, but then he brought out the comb and the scissors, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
He was like so excited to just watch that.
And you were like, that's exactly what I saw.
Yeah. I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
I liked it so much. My wife and daughter made fun of me, but it
looks good.
It was €16 for the two of us. So I was like, can you do you take tips? He's like, oh, there's no way to do a tip. I'm like, can you charge me for 3 haircuts? He's like, yeah, sure. So at €24,
yeah,
I'm
I'm like,
American right here. I respect that.
And my wife was like, what the fuck? I'm like, Joy, it's like $13 a haircut with tip.
My haircut's bad.
Like, come on.
And it starts at 28.
Right.
Dude, I just took my son to get his haircut, and it was $31, and I tipped $4 and change, so it was $36.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I pay 38, and I'm over tipper.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're right on the same page.
I just wait for the Great Clips $10 coupons to come out, and then I tip them $10 extra. $20 haircut. They're happy. I'm happy. It works.
Does it?
I mean, for me, I don't feel. I'm never self-conscious walking out of there. So, mission success.
I'm glad you all had that experience. So Spain was good.
Accomplished is the word you were looking for there.
So Spain was good?
It was good, yep.
Where were you in Spain?
I forgot y'all went for a wedding.
Penis cola?
That was one day. We
you made it to
He sent pictures for 4 days
Yeah,
of penis.
those were the only pictures we got.
Well,
You're a child.
That and your Game of Thrones shit.
Well,
which I think was penis cola.
It was. Well, that was one Game of Thrones.
How do they pronounce it?
Peniscola.
Penis cola.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's spelled peniscola. I asked them for their local drink, but they looked at me crazy. I think it was the accent.
You got to go. You got to go in the back alley.
Did you go to different cities?
Yeah, we flew into Valencia and then immediately drove I don't know what it was, 45 minutes to Calera, which is this beach about 45 minutes south of, 45 minutes south of Valencia. Valencia has these 7 beaches, and you can go to one in 5 minutes, one in 15, one in, and
Just hop down the line.
just hop down the line. They're all a little bit different, but not much. So the wedding was in Calera, which is where the bride was born to her
that was going to be my next question because
American mom studying abroad meets local, falls in love.
Respect. So she did the study abroad and came back with more than a degree.
Yeah, had
I've never done a destination wedding.
Probably a 10-year marriage with 3 kids.
Overseas, at least.
Yeah.
And my first impression of Calera...
They had 10 kids?
No, 10 years.
Oh, I was like, damn, that European did it right.
When I met that family, because they're all cousins of Joy, so when I met that family, the 3 kids were like, one was a year old, one was 3, and the bride, the now bride was, well, she must have been like 8.
She's close to her cousins that live overseas?
Well, I don't want to get into it, but
I think she's probably one of those that just celebrates it.
no, it's Halifax. Everyone, it's like this weird center of the universe thing for that shithole county.
Oh, Halifax, Virginia.
Yeah.
That little...
Yep.
Yeah, that place sucks.
Because I had a funeral thing.
it's awesome.
I had a funeral thing, and I saw cousins that I haven't seen in almost 20 years, and one of them lives down the road. Like, just not tight with my cousins.
Well, Joy's family is great in that they're super social, and they have the eldest generation that are now passed away or in their 90s think that
that's great.
It's the greatest place in the world. No, but I'm saying they have a lot of gravity for their kids.
Yeah, sure.
So when their kid, like,
they instilled that
every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every Easter, it'd be like a family reunion.
A homecoming.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, there'd be like
I just don't
35 people.
Where I grew up in Hanover County, people have that same mentality, and I'm like, I'm not a well-traveled person, but there's a million small towns just in the Commonwealth of Virginia that are dope little towns to raise families in. Like, why do you think your place
They're all very similar
Yeah.
in a lot of respects.
Familiarity, right?
So,
Do you know how many people in Poquoson have never even wandered into Hampton?
Yeah. I don't get it. It's just weird. It's weird to me. Like, I never fell in love with where I grew up. Like, I just was like, this place is...
Yeah, I didn't care.
Like, I'll go somewhere else. Like, I'm not against moving 30 minutes down the road.
no, it's a big world. If you can't get 30 minutes down the road, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Big world. So you were over there in Spain for 10 days?
11.
11 days?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I assume you got experimental with foods? Like, tried it all?
I would say the variety isn't as vast as you might imagine.
Oh, really? I mean, I don't know anything about
It's like everything is rice.
Okay. I mean, that's... So did you have anything that you were like, okay, that's what's up? If I go to Spain, that's what I would eat?
No. I know I no longer desire paella.
Because you didn't like it or you ate too much of it?
I was just like excited to try it, and I'm like, oh, it's just like rice with some shit in it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, rice with shit in it is kind of central to most of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I can eat rice with shit in it so long as that shit's a protein. Like,
You know what I had for
can eat
dinner
that
tonight?
Every day.
I had rice and beans with some pork.
Yep.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Rice and shit in it is pretty standard.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
not-
I have nothing against it, but
But it wasn't mind blowing. You didn't.
Right.
You weren't like, oh shit, they do lamb in a way that I've never considered.
Yeah, it's not like going to Greece and having one of their gyro and being like, oh, this is amazing.
Because you'll go through Italy and like you'll go from region to region and be like, whoa,
Right.
They do that better than anywhere else, or this is different.
Even like you go to Jamaica and you have the local jerk chicken, you're like, oh my gosh, this is unlike anything I've ever had.
So spicy.
So there was none of that.
You
in
get
Spain.
that patty, that shitty Jamaican patty, the beef patty. That shit's amazing. Like, so good. One time I had a cabbie drive me. I said, hey, cabbie. Got off a cruise ship. And I was like, I don't want to go on any of these excursions. I said, look, I'm looking for a couple of things. I'm looking for a view with a beer. And I'm looking for the best beef patty that I can get. And he was like, all right. And I was like, look, I'm going to pay you.
How you're alive is just beyond me.
I know.
The amount of times you follow someone into Nowheresville.
Right. And how do you have
I literally
all
came-
of your kidneys?
I came off the boat, found this dude. He looked cool. My wife was like, what are you doing? She's pregnant. It's just not even a mess. Yeah, I was sacrificing multiple lives.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Some that weren't even here yet.
yeah. And I was like, and I stood there and watched all the cabbies and watched how they harassed people and who I didn't like their vibe, did like their vibe. Found this one dude. I was like, I like that dude. He's all right. And I walked up to him. I was like, hey, man, here's what's up. I don't want to do all the same shit that everyone's doing. I'm looking for two things: a beer with a view, and she wants a good beef patty. I want the best beef patty that you can get in this area.
What if those were mutually exclusive?
They literally were miles apart.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, this was wildly different. He's like, all right, well, this is like a whole day, and I'm like, no, I want the day.
Whoa.
These are the only two compass points I'm giving you.
Interesting.
We're gonna fill out a day. I was like, how much for you to be my guy for the next 5 hours? And he was like, well, it's gonna cost X, and I was like, that's fine. And he goes, okay, we got to go by my house.
You are so rich.
So we went. It didn't cost that
That doesn't
much.
even make any sense to me.
Well, Inge it sounds so dangerous to me. Like that sounds like one of the most dangerous things you can do.
I understand that on paper this is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Because there's
What a day.
There's a chance a driver would be like, "What's a fetus worth on the black market?"
Yeah, exactly. What's a pregnant white girl worth?
Less than a not pregnant white girl, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but you know she can reproduce.
She knows she bangs.
I don't think they care.
It's not her first time.
Yeah.
But so he was like,
Doesn't that devalue?
He was like, well, look, if we're going to do this, he's like, I need to go by my house. I want to change my clothes.
That's smart.
And I was like, this is the first time
I got to get my gun.
We literally
Yeah.
drove. This dude ran in his house, changed, came out, drove us out, and he takes us into like the most ghetto spot for this beef patty. And I'm like, this is a little sketchy. And he's like, all right, guys, we'll park here. I want you to stay with me, stay close.
I don't even understand why he had to change.
I don't understand that. Maybe he had to get something else, but he changed his shirt. He was like dressed up, like fancy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he was
why
trying
wouldn't
to-
he just dress for work like that anyway?
I don't know, dude. I didn't question it.
None of this is logical. So
No.
try not to let that get in the way.
He takes me in this.
I mean,
like,
why do you go on to an exotic place and you're like, I want a beef patty? Like,
I'm
well,
telling
that's
you, though,
pregnancy cravings.
pregnancy cravings. I was like, I got to get this for her.
Yeah.
So we go in, and this dude's walking us down the street, and we obviously stick out on this street.
obviously.
And this dude comes up and starts harassing us. Cabbie turns around, bucks up on this dude. He's like, you back it up, man. Like, comes at him. He's like, get with me, you get away. Moves this dude out of the way. He's like, keep moving, keep moving. Walks me into this place. I'll be damn. That is the best beef patty I've ever had in my life. Yes, it was sketchy. Yes, it
I
was
think
dangerous.
adrenaline makes everything taste better.
I was going to say, with that story, you're not going to end with, and the beef patty sucked.
No, this dude nailed it. I was like, all right, you got that. I was like, now I need a beer with a view. This dude drives us up into the jungles, and we end up posting up at this shack that sits up on this bluff looking out over the ocean. There's like two Jamaican dudes smoking a joint, one dude sitting behind a bar, and nobody else in the middle of nowhere. We sat there and drank Red Stripes and watched it. It was,
Your wife didn't.
no,
Oh, that's right. She didn't.
She didn't. That's right.
no. My brother-in-law was with us.
Yeah,
so we
that-
had that. So like I had a buddy. We were hanging out. Dude, it was amazing. We had a great day, but dangerous. But I think sometimes you got to like go find the food. There's good food. So I'm shocked that Spain didn't have the good food.
Yeah. I mean, there was.
Are you though? Because, I mean, I don't feel like you hear about, like, Spain's food.
I do hear a paella, so I'm kind of shocked that that was underwhelming.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You're right. There's not a lot of things. You don't go to like Spanish. You go. You know where you go? They have Spanish tapas places.
Yes. But I don't seek those out. I'm not like, oh, man, I can't wait to go to a
And every time
tapas
I go
place.
to a tapas place, they're like, we did this great barbecue thing, and then we did this weird. It's all like a mix mash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapas places we went to were like, here's some rice with some shit in it. And
Again.
also, here's another dish,
With rice.
rice and some shit in it. I'm like, oh, okay.
So genuinely underwhelming food.
Yeah.
How was the wedding?
It was great. It was in a like a 13th or 14th century fort that had a castle and a Catholic church in it. And that's where, and it's a tourist attraction. So in the middle of the service, you'd have these like dumpy senior citizens walk down the aisle and like
Taking pictures
taking
and shit.
pictures, looking up.
Not of the bride, like
Right.
of the architecture.
Right.
You know what's great about that statement you just made? 1400s.
Yeah.
America is so young.
Yeah.
Like that place has more years under its belt before we were even became a nation than we have as a nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
that
it's
fort
still-
was built in 1388 or something like that.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
We are so young. You walk around here and go, that place is old as fuck. And it's like 1920.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that old. This is
Yeah. You're blown away if
1400s.
you see something here that starts with an 18. You're like,
You gotta
"Wait,
be
what?"
kidding me. 1800, it's still here. And you go there and they get married in something from the 1400s. That's wild.
Yep. So Calera was awesome. At my first, we stayed 3 or 4 days there, and at first I was like, "Oh well." Let me back up. That is the place where the Spanish vacation. Like that's I
So
don't
it's
want.
a vacation spot.
Yeah, but it's not a touristy vacation spot.
So they don't have wings and like waves.
Nothing does. That's another story.
What do you mean? You can't get beach gear at the beach?
No, I showed up with no.
You should open one.
No umbrella. I didn't pack any. Dave's Whore Beach Essential. Dave's Whore Wings
Whore wings.
or Puta Wings.
Bitch wings? I thought puta was bitch.
I think it's bitch and whore and whatever else you want.
It's just derogatory across the board.
It just sounds bad.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I didn't pack any flip flops, and I'm like, it's no worries. I'll just get a cheap
Yeah.
pair there.
Some
and
awesome Spanish
Throw
flip-
them away when I'm done. And so showed up. No chairs, no umbrella, no anything. Wearing
Just your penny loafers.
socks and shoes, and then I'm like
Which is the worst.
translating like, where's a store that sells beach shit or beach umbrella, beach chair, and everyone's like, you maybe drive an hour and a half that way into the city, and
Away from the beach?
yeah, there's nothing. I mean,
Every beach town we have has 4 of those stores on a block.
yeah, it was
every block.
It was shocking, shocking. I mean, they had plenty of bars, plenty of restaurants.
Hold on, you're in a touristy beach town.
Yeah.
And you could not get.
I was in 4 different touristy
You can't get a
beach
cheap
towns.
towel, a hermit crab.
I did go to
A raft.
I went to a
Expensive
pharmacy.
t-shirt.
I went to a pharmacy and they had 2 beach towels, and I
That's
did
what's
buy
up.
those.
So
That was their whole stock too.
what'd you end up doing about the umbrella and the flip flops and all that stuff?
There were a couple of beaches that would have a beach
Rental?
club where you
Yeah.
could rent, and it was it was cool. It was like a semi-permanent telephone pole with the grass on top or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay, that's
And-
actually dope. So they have them pre-set up.
Yeah, but I mean, they would have like
You have to rent it.
they'd have
Yeah.
12 in a 3x4 configuration, and then another 12 like a quarter mile down the beach, and so everyone was flocking to those.
Yeah.
But the Ables like to hit the beach later in the day, so there's so many people that get there at 8 a.m. and then they leave at lunchtime or shortly after. We like to get there shortly after lunchtime, so we would just stalk it, and then once we saw someone put on a shirt, we're like, hey, you leaving? And they're like, yeah, perfect.
There you go. Damn, I can't. That is so weird to me that you can't get, because even in most of my travels in beach towns, you can get beach gear. I've never come across that.
Yeah, I was shocked and disheartened.
So no flip flops the entire journey. You never found them.
Never did.
Damn.
Actually, I take that back. There were like some shoe stores in the city, and I could have gotten these handmade, probably in China, sandals for like €5, but
You'd already left the beach.
figured they would be at the beach,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So you just rock your tennis shoes to the beach every day?
Yeah.
So it has a dope bar scene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every town did.
Well, you wouldn't need to be there.
I might have, what's it when you do something with a wagon?
Fix it.
Yeah, I fixed the wagon.
Hold on, you fell off the wagon over there,
A little bit.
but you're not drinking. You don't have a beer in front of you right now.
Yeah, I took inspiration from Troy.
Don't put your fucking shit on me.
No. This is your fault, Troy.
Yeah,
a man who has
that's what
stayed
I'm
sober
hearing, yeah.
all this time.
3 years now, but it's my fault.
So
Let's hear how it's my fault.
What was your advice to him, Troy?
Not to drink. You're
It wasn't-
doing great.
Wasn't
Okay.
your words,
So that
it was
sounds-
your actions.
When I drank,
What actions has Troy done?
Do the
that-
listeners know about Troy's weight loss and diet?
weight loss and diet? Yeah. Everybody's aware what he does. He does this thing every so often where he like won't eat until a certain time, and then he has a small
Yeah,
window.
just fast.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's every so often. I think it's daily, right?
I get on and off of it. I hit it harder than
well, I was under the
Are you
impression.
currently doing it?
mostly during the week now, not so much during the weekends.
But during the week, you don't eat during the day.
Yeah.
And then you eat within like whatever time dinner naturally
Yeah.
shows up at your house. Then you'll grace yourself with like a 2-hour window.
yeah, 2 to 4 hours.
I'm just saying, I saw the fear in his eyes when you were passing him a Miller Lite potato chip at 9:15 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to pass him something else. I'm fucking super excited about it.
So anyway, when he came back from the cruise and was like, I ate my face off, I was like, ah. And then you're right back at it when you get home. I'm like, oh,
Okay. I see what he did here. He took what you did around food,
Yeah.
and then he just transposed it onto drinking.
Yes.
yes.
And then decided I can
It's the
drink.
same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Okay.
right? And heroin, right?
Fair.
Right. Weddings.
All drugs are allowed.
Okay, hold on. So you drank on this trip.
Yeah.
How'd it go? Were you worried?
No.
Well, you drank before this,
Yeah.
honestly.
But he was always. I've been around him at parties, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna have, and he would drink like half a beer, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go. I mean, I didn't do like a regular Sunday NFL day in the Pallet House.
Did you get drunk?
No.
I don't think so.
So you stuck to beer, wine. You probably had some wine.
I think I had one glass of wine. No, it was bourbon.
Spain is known for their bourbon.
And he didn't get drunk. I don't believe that.
You drank bourbon?
I'm still obese.
That has nothing to do.
I think I can drink 4 drinks right now and get a tiny buzz.
You put so much weight on that, ironically. I don't believe that's how it works. Like, it's not just because you weigh more than the average person, you can automatically drink more.
I
Well,
think
you
that
can.
does.
Weight helps.
Weight helps, but if you've been without alcohol for quite a long time,
You'll feel one. I
Yeah,
would think.
yeah.
I would think.
I don't think
I wouldn't have any.
Yeah,
I don't think
you-
I felt one. I don't think I felt one. And in fact, that's part of the reason I was happy.
That's why you had 3 or 4.
Oh, totally.
Well, I didn't feel that first.
we went to one bar and our beer tab at the end of the night was $160.
That's not even.
That's not, yeah.
But that's on
With 4 people drinking?
Am I supposed to be impressed? I don't understand what that.
Yeah, that's,
all right, so €8, let's say $9 drinks. That would be, what's the math on that?
that's like,
16 drinks.
16.
I was going to say that's,
So my daughter,
15, 16
my
drinks
daughter
here in
had,
America.
My daughter had 2 or 3. My son had 2. Joy had
So let's take
4 or
5 off
5.
the top of 16, so we're at 11.
Yeah, and then Joy and I had the 5 and 6. I think that's a pretty solid night for a non-drinker.
It's a solid. Yeah, it's a solid night for most people.
Right.
Now, for me, it's a pregame.
Brendan's like, only $160?
No,
you
no.
drink for free all night?
No, honestly, like my wife and I go out, and I'll be like, "Yeah, 160."
Y'all went out for drinks tonight, right?
We went out for drinks and dinner, and the tab was only $68.
That doesn't math.
I agree. I saw the tab, and I was like, "Are they hooking me up?"
Y'all must not have gone somewhere expensive.
I went to my local haunt, but it came. But there was no kids.
Yeah.
That's 2 meals off the top, which is nice.
What's your local haunt?
Toast? It's my go-to.
There you go.
Went up there, ran into another regular, chatted with him, talked about some stuff. Yeah, it was nice. But I did eat like rice and beans with some pork, so I didn't have anything crazy.
So I went to this bar called Dow Jones, very Americanized, and they had these stock tickers running all the way around, like this was their theme, and
Interesting.
And the drinks
Sounds lame.
would change price based on quote unquote demand. And so if you go in there with a big group,
So if there's a run on Heineken's go up in price?
yeah,
I would hate that. That sounds
Hold
awful.
on. So the stock ticker is directly related to the drinks being served.
correct.
So if bourbon starts running low, it costs more. If no one's drinking Malort, it's dirt cheap.
Yeah, I don't think it's about supply. I think it's all about demand. I think if you have a bridal party in there and you all order Cosmos are going to go up a buck.
No,
each.
I'm assuming it's all about marketing.
It is. It's a
brilliant,
joke
though.
because everyone in there would every like 40 half hour 45 minutes they'd have a market crash.
Yeah.
And all the prices would reset, so there'd be a rush.
Oh, this is some spring break shit.
Yeah.
So there'd be
Pretty genius, actually.
A rush. I
love
I
this.
fell for it.
Yeah.
So I go up there and I'm like, all right, around. And I'm looking at everything's like €7. I'm like, all right, cool, this is gonna be good. And then as they're pouring it,
It would go up.
starts going up, and I'm like, and I cleared it with them. I was like, is it the price when I order or when you input it? And they're like, well, we input it when you order. I'm like, okay. And I did like 2 of those crashes, and it changed. It went up.
That's actually
Yeah.
the coolest. Like, you were making it sound like it was stupid, but I love this.
No, I'm embarrassed that I fell for it, and I know Troy is judging me.
I wouldn't
Yeah, I'd judge
fall
you.
for it. I would
I know.
play the system.
I'm not.
You would judge me.
Yes,
But like
It's fun to
But
judge.
no, I would do that. I would do that one time for the experience.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like a cool experience.
Yeah.
But like, that wouldn't be your spot. Like, if
No.
you were over there, like that's.
Was it
But it's kind of
generalized?
genius.
Was it generalized? Like, if people are ordering beer goes up in price?
No,
or
they-
is it like Coors Light is on
they
a run?
literally had every drink, every beer, every cocktail, every wine, every brand of whatever, every like shot.
So when Miller Lite goes low,
I don't think it has anything to do with the supply or the demand. They just keep
think
fluctuating.
it's
it.
just an algorithm.
I think you're
yeah.
right. I think you're right.
I love this. Yeah, but he said if the beer was pouring and he saw the price go up, it was tied into the system.
Yeah, but it might just.
I think it might just do it.
It might just do it. That's got to be hard for the
As long as
accountants to keep track of.
Well, I don't know. You just say, here's one beer sold at X. I mean,
I think they just needed to net out,
I asked the waitress,
median price.
this bar back walked out to get some. I'm like, hey, let me ask you a question. I was like, do you ever have people that get really irate because it should have been €7 and then they get their check 30 seconds later and it's $1.50 more? She's
Yeah.
like, all the time. I'm like, oh, so what do you do? And I had a bit to drink, so I don't remember exactly her answer, but I just knew that
Drunk.
it happens.
Drunk moves.
Yeah, drunk moves. Excuse me. Have you ever seen a rush on the market that caused
Yeah,
people to be
that-
angry?
She probably
What were the
goes.
prices of 1929?
I don't remember her answer, but I'm
She
pretty
probably
sure she was
says,
right.
"Hey, dumbass, look at where you are." Like, that's the whole point of this place. So every time you order a drink, it's a different price, basically.
Yes. And
And they could probably use it to be like, we are sitting on cases
Yes.
of this fucking mango
But
bullshit.
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Mango carts, $3 off.
Yeah.
Like, move it. That's actually the brilliance of it. Because
Yeah.
you could just let the stock ticker hold.
Yeah.
I think she said that the prices basically fluctuate between €7 and €10 and like never go above 10 and
Yeah.
never go below 7, and they hover in the 8 to 9. Then
Yeah.
there'll be a crash to 7 and everyone rushes the bar.
That's smart, actually.
I actually love
No,
it.
I do. I mean, the fact that my cynical mind was like, this is fucking awesome. Look, I'm saving money.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
these
true.
people are geniuses.
I love this.
It's got to be in a tourist area, though, because I feel like if it was just in a city that, like a Richmond.
It was Barcelona,
Yeah,
which is like
so
a
like-
much bigger Richmond.
So, like, if you're in a Richmond, like, you're not getting a lot of tourists, so you're not going to have a lot of repeat. Like, you wouldn't go there once a week because you'd be like, this
Yeah,
is fucked out.
there were definitely a lot of Caucasians in there.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It was awesome.
Did you have any scams try to be pulled on you or any sketchy
There's
stories?
always a scam.
Yeah, when we were in Calera, it's 6 hours ahead, so I was up at 3 a.m. every night because that's 9 p.m. here, and I was trying to stay on kind of an Americanized schedule.
Good luck.
Oh, I crushed
You were
it.
texting us a lot.
Yeah, I crushed it. I was trying to be respectful and not send you. I was sending you texts that you got at like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
It's like it's very late there. Or no, like 10 p.m. Something
Yeah.
once you went at 10 p.m., which is like 4 a.m. there. But anyway,
So you stayed on an American.
for the most part, I mean, I definitely got less sleep there because there were times that I would get up at 8 a.m. local time, which would be 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were out way past.
Is everything open late though? Like bars open past 2 and all that stuff? Or you just be chilling back at the crib by 2 and just staying up?
No, well, in Calera we had all those family members and and the wedding party
Yeah.
was between 26 years old and 29 years old, and they were partying hard.
So they're cool.
Yeah, and they had there were literal like structured bars with air conditioning and whatever on the beach, like in the middle of the beach, like
That's
off the
wild.
boardwalk, 50 yards off the boardwalk. And so
How late were those open?
it probably went to 2.
That's awesome.
And
He was drunk, so he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't know.
that was
any of
that was one of the days. That was different than Dow Jones. Dow Jones was a different day. I was
You
probably-
sent us some pictures of like you out with a group at 1 a.m. Like,
I don't remember that.
these. This motherfucker. He's like, I had like 3.
yeah.
But we were out with the bridal party, and a bunch of the guys were kind of hanging. You know how parties sometimes will segregate with the genders, and so a bunch of guys and I were standing on the boardwalk, and the girls were still on the beach, and this group of I think it was 4 or 5 of us, including my son, who's you could tell he's not a fighter, and these 4 guys came up and they asked, "Hey, where is this?" And one of my wife's cousins was like, "Oh, it's over there." And then he said, "Well, how about this?" And he made up. And this my cousin, who looks completely Caucasian.
You sent this picture that said it's 1:30 here. It won't get bigger for some reason.
Yeah, I've been there.
What is that? I can't even see it.
You and a crew sitting around a table somewhere.
Oh, okay. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was after the rehearsal dinner at the bride's Airbnb.
I want to hear this story. Yet.
Oh yeah, so it was the night after the wedding, that night, the wedding night. We're out, and this group comes up, says, "Where's this?" And this guy who looks very Caucasian, born in Calera but raised in South Carolina. When the guy made up a word, this guy knew he had made it up, and he said in Spanish, he's like, "I don't know what that is." And the guy's like, "You don't know what that is?" And then he turns, he's like, "Hey, Noah," which is another cousin who is like the Sealy of the group.
The meathead.
Yeah, the guy who's like, "Did you say fight?"
Yeah,
I'm in.
yeah.
And so once Trent knew that the guys were fucking with him, and as he said, trying to be funny, I'm like, "Well, that doesn't sound that funny." He's like, I mean, like, start a fight funny. I'm like, "Oh." That guy came up and was like, "We will kill you." And they got chest to chest for 45 seconds, and then
Oh, I love that moment in time. As long as it doesn't go south, that's a great moment.
And then those guys wisely walked away, but they stood like a half block away, just glaring at us. And
trying to figure out, are we being bitches?
well, Trent and Noah were like, "So, just so you know, we should all stick together in a group. The weakest should be dropped off first."
Yeah.
And because Trent, in his younger days, I think he's 26. I think 5 years ago, he was on the streets of Calera at 2 a.m. by himself. And he admits that he escalated things, with a group, and they
Beat the shit out of him?
Broke his jaw.
Fun.
Yeah, like he got worked, because it's like any city, you have 20-something dudes, and there's one guy in a group who's like, "I'm going to get wasted and start a fight tonight."
Yep.
And that's there as well. And
Well, it's everywhere. That's male.
exactly.
That's how we do things.
So we had a couple of that was one, and we had another one. We were at a different bar on a different night. Maybe it was the night after, and
Drunk.
So one bar did close at 2, and we went to another bar, And that
nothing good comes of that.
was, as you might say, a sausage fest. And
Because it's two.
so the guys that we were with are like, they picked up more than just sausage fest vibes. They picked up like danger vibes, and they're again Spanish and local, and they're like, yeah, we need to go, and also we need to drop the weakest off first. So they followed me to my place, dropped me off, made sure I was safe, and then they turned out okay. I hope.
Dude,
Y'all are walking everywhere.
Yeah.
I've been in foreign countries when I'm in a place and all of a sudden you start picking up on like the danger vibes.
Oh, I was so naive. I'm like, oh, look at all these dudes dancing with one girl.
Nah,
What could possibly go wrong?
it's very real when you're in a place and
No
you start
shit.
to feel that like, wait a minute, this is starting to feel stabby real quick.
I think they use that word.
Yeah, that's the word, because you don't want to get shanked in some European fucking bar at 3 a.m.
Yep.
Bad things.
I mean, I've done better.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I've done better things.
That one, the Sausage Fest one, I just went out with those dudes.
You were all hard, probably.
I was just like, the women were not with us, so I was more adventurous.
More dudes.
Yeah.
Go find some dudes.
Where's all the dudes?
We're in
hanging out?
Spain. I'm wearing a Speedo. It's 3 a.m.
Hermanos.
Where's the
Hermanos, amigo.
Where's the Blue Oyster?
Troy, I saw you just pull out this European beer.
Is this the deli? It's deli time. I'm assuming this is the deli.
Yeah, it's a European beer. I wanted to celebrate Dave's great return.
What is this beer?
I don't know.
Nürnberger. Is that a T or an F?
That's a T.
It's a Helles style,
It's a Helles lager.
and it's the it's Tucher, but it's the Nuremberger Touche.
It's Toucher.
Brewed in accordance with the Bavarian purity law.
Yes.
This says 1672 on it.
Yes.
That's crazy.
This beer's been around
5.2
forever.
ABV.
It's the Brauspilisatat.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Nuremberger Brauspilisatat. Yep.
Product of Germany.
Let's just call it the Tucker Helles Lager. Tucher. But a Helles Lager is always one of the more agreeable beers that's out there. I figured we'd give this a shot.
I'm having a bad run with Helles lagers.
Really?
Yeah, they all have a hot dog water flavor. The past like 3 we had. To me.
But this
I
is
got
a
Dave
true...
a full one.
I don't want a full one because I'm thinking I don't like it.
Okay.
Well, then pour yours for Troy.
Okay.
I will drink a full one. I don't have to work tomorrow.
I don't want a full one because I'm not a drinker.
Yeah, he's so foolish.
Oh, I'm going to try your Hefeweizen.
It's alcoholic. I don't know if you're
we
going
don't
to
know
want it.
what you're talking about there, Dave.
I heard the last podcast.
That wasn't the last podcast.
I heard a podcast while I was away without me on it.
There have been 2.
Sounds hilarious. Did you listen over there?
Yeah.
They get podcasts over there?
It's not a third world country.
Well,
That's a beer?
I mean, it's a super smooth, super understated beer, yes. But is it good? I don't know.
Definitely has more bite from the carbonation than from the flavor.
And the flavor is one of those. It's very European. And the fact that it's basic as fuck.
It's quite basic.
And I mean, some European beers are basic, and Helles lagers are exactly that. But it does have like a brightness, like
We're falling back into the doesn't do anything wrong category.
doesn't do anything.
No.
The fuck is that?
It's not bad, though.
No, it's really pretty good. That's a confusing
Yeah.
beer. I'm like, I taste literally nothing. Of course, I'm coming from a full flavor American lager.
That's tough.
In a spirit of
Beechwood,
76 koozie. I'm over here doing American shit. I'm drinking a Bud Heavy out of a fucking...
You need to cleanse your palate.
I just removed the Zin. And I put the Beechwood Age Budweiser to my left. I moved on to the Toucher, the Touche. The two chair? I don't know. The Nuremberger.
Got a little metallic on the back end, but I think it's pretty tasty overall.
In the end, it's hard to argue with that beer. Only because it does nothing. Can I introduce a wild card?
Do it.
Oh, this is what we're eating.
We have right here.
I was like, what is Dave
I
doing?
pieced it together because at first
I was producing.
yeah, I know, I see it.
You were producing something.
I have the super hard to find limited edition Old Bay Goldfish.
I bet it pairs well with this, actually.
I bet it does. That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, ooh,
Because this beer you would use for your seafood boil.
we're about to find out. In 2022, Goldfish and Old Bay released this collaboration.
Yeah.
and it sold out
Sold out immediately.
like in no time. And it took them this long.
To come out again.
Ooh, it smells fucking dope.
I've had these before, but it's been since the first go round. If I remember correctly,
Did you have these the first time?
No, I've never had.
I was a little underwhelmed with them. To me, I like Old Bay, and I like a lot of it.
A pile.
Yes,
You
like-
dip your food in
I
it.
wanted these to be like more coated. I'm actually like that with all chips. Most of them are not as coated in the flavor as
But
I
I
would
think
like.
Goldfish may be about the perfect snack.
Pretty good.
You know what I mean?
Goldfish are.
And Old Bay, I'm a huge fan of.
Can definitely taste some Old Bay.
It's on there.
So I find Old Bay chips to be disappointing. So I'm hoping that Old Bay Goldfish.
Oh, this
amazing.
beer's so much better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I believe. I just went back for a second handful so I can taste the beer with it.
Pretty good distribution on
Hell
this.
yeah. That beer just became the Quan. This Old Bay Goldfish.
Old Bay's so good.
So good. These are so hard to get. And right now they're available in Publix, Kroger, and Walmart that I remember.
That's all, huh?
And they will sell out quick. They said they'll be here for the summer, but last time they were here for like literally a week.
Yeah.
Are you going to buy a bunch of bags?
I haven't reviewed it
Stockpile
yet.
them.
I haven't reviewed it yet.
Oh,
We gotta wait.
I would think on the novelty alone. You'd be like, bitch, I got the Old Bay Goldfish.
Black market.
Okay, I'll tell you this right fucking now. Those are the shit. Old Bay and Goldfish go together like peanut butter and jelly. That is phenomenal for me. If I had to rate a snack on the deli rating, that's a 4. I'm going high. I'm going in hard. I love that. I love the spice on it. I love that it's still a goldfish. I can toss them in the air and catch them in my mouth. I love those. I'm giving them a 4.
These are better than I remember.
Well, they might have fixed the glitch. Remember last
Yeah.
time it was literally like a week that they existed. So they might have been like, okay, here's the complaints we heard. That's fantastic.
So you're going to stock up?
Literally.
You're going to go tomorrow?
I have to go to a buddy's party and I'm supposed to bring dips. And I'm starting to wonder if I should just
Bring the goldfish.
go get a bunch of Old Bay Goldfish and drop them mugs there and see how many of those go. Because that's the
not a bad idea.
That's the truth.
Pretty delicious.
I really liked those. Dave, do you have an opinion on that after your Spanish paella experience?
Well, Goldfish never rang the bell for me.
Oh, so I'm a goldfish guy, so there was a very easy
When you
leap for
said
me.
they're the best snack of all time, I was like,
No, they're not the best snack of all time. I'm just saying they're a 4. I think they're amazing.
but you're
They're
saying
one of the snacks that I overlook, and then I eat them. I'm like, why don't I eat these more often?
Yeah, like goldfish. Little kids eat goldfish.
yeah, like I never
adults
stole
eat
my
goldfish.
kids' Goldfish. I was like,
Oh, I would literally steal kids' goldfish.
They are kind of marketed to kids.
These days, I don't think they started that way. But all right. Take that and throw it in a clam chowder. instead of a oyster cracker.
Yeah.
Like, how good would that be?
Yeah, that would be great.
Throw that in just about any kind of soup.
She crab soup.
Yes. Like, that would be amazing. Sorry, I'm pretty high on that right now. So I gave it a 4. I'm out.
So I agree. It's great. It's definitely Old Bay, unlike the Miller fake brought, and fake
Yep.
beer can chicken.
Yeah, I was disappointed
Yeah.
with that.
No, these are as advertised. Just from my own thing, though, I wouldn't give probably any goldfish a 4, but it's a 3.5.
But so it's better than goldfish.
I'll take your word for it.
No, I'm saying you would rank it above goldfish.
The last memory I have of goldfish is probably from 2009.
Wow. Okay. Dude's in a different world.
I
Troy, what do you
think
think?
I think it's tasty as hell. I give it a 4 too.
Yeah, I think those are fantastic.
I'm impressed with the amount of Old Bay on it.
Yeah, there's enough spice in there that I tasted in my.
Would I like more? Yes, always. Am I supposed to ring the bell on?
It's a deli.
Yeah, why not? It's a deli for a snack.
Eat or drink. Deli.
What about the beer?
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Look at that. The Old Bay Goldfish, y'all.
It's the truth.
Run, don't walk. Because literally last time they sold out. Immediate.
Or drive.
Oh, yeah.
We're not in Spain.
No, you can't even get flip-flops. All right, so I can tell you that Hellas Lager tasted way better
Yes.
with goldfish.
It did.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah, it got rid of that weird funk at the end.
Are you going to let it affect the score?
No, because you can't always have Old Bay Goldfish, especially with a Bavarian beer. Because you know they ain't got that shit. We just blended two worlds like Dave in Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This beer, though, I'm having a real hard time grading it because it does nothing. But as far as Hellas Lagers go, I think it checks all the boxes for what a Hellas Lager should be, which a Hellas Lager by nature is a basic bitch beer, but it doesn't run in any direction. I would give it that it has some brightness in its flavor profile that I'm not used to with Hellas Lager.
I don't think it's going to win a deli.
No, but I'll start it close.
Wow.
We're going to be on the same. We're going to have the same score.
I'll start it close. No, I'm going to go higher than you,
Okay.
I think.
Nope.
The fact that it does nothing wrong and does everything well means it should be a 3 because it's better than average. But something about it is just a hair better.
With goldfish. You still have Old Bay in your teeth and on your tongue.
I do.
And you're going back to double check your flavor.
Okay, you know what? I think you may be right. When I had it before, I was like, it's a solid 3, maybe a 3.5. After the goldfish, I'm like, it's a 3.5. But I think I have to go with my pre-goldfish vote.
You do.
It's a 3. But it's very good. Like, I would drink this all day. I just wouldn't like go out of my way to spend a lot of money on it. Now, granted, this actually was not that expensive. This was $8 for a 4-pack
That's not bad at
for
all.
an imported beer.
And they're pints.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. But I'm still going to give it a 3.
How is that $8? Like, you probably can't get a 6-pack of
went to
Coors
a-
Light.
It's
for
a
that.
4-pack.
Yeah, but it's still almost 6 beers. We're like,
$2 a pint. That's craft
No, that's for an imported beer and one of the oldest.
I'm saying
around.
that's great.
It's a great deal.
I'm saying
Like
you
the
can't-
place I went-
Coors Light, you probably can't even.
The place I went is a special.
$8 for a 6-pack.
It's a specialty shop that gouges the wine and not the beer. I think the beer is kind of the loss leader.
that's near toast.
That's exactly where it is. Yeah. This is their loss leader. Their beer section is way reasonably priced. I'm always like, hey, I get high-end beers
Yeah.
for cheap. It's the opposite of your typical bodega. I'm going to go 3, but if I said 3.5, I would be very much on board. But I do think that it does everything better than average. It's a good beer, but I'm not going to like go out of my way as far as Hellas Lagers are concerned to find the original if this is.
I'll go. I like this beer. I agree. Basically, everything I was going to say, you said, and I was going to score it a 3 exactly too. It's better than average. Nothing wrong. Does nothing wrong. tasty, and I mean for the price, that's a steal. Yeah, 3.
This is where I wish we had quarter points.
Because it's a 3.25.
No, it's better than average, but I know I do not enjoy it as much as you two. So it's got to be above a 2.5, but to me, it's not a 3. So I will reluctantly give it a 3.
What a dick.
But then it nets out where we thought it was anyway.
Yeah, because I was between 3.5 and you were between
Yeah.
3. It should have been a 3. It should have netted out at a 3.
Yeah.
It should have netted out at 3.25. One of us should have bumped it. But it's fine because that's how this works. The Nuremberger, Tucker, Helles Lager, Braspulzilatitat. I don't know how to say that word. Never will.
Such a good price. I'm really surprised by that.
This place does.
If that was $12.99 for a 4-pack, I'd believe you.
Are you going to have a second beer? Can we
do that?
Can we throw that Hefeweizen your way?
Yeah.
Troy,
Where is it?
It's in there.
That helps.
Can we source the Groove City Hefeweizen? Now, Dave, my problem with you
It's
and
going to be delicious after this.
but my problem with you and Hefeweizens is you want that European bite, and I like that American bastard. This is a pretty good approximation of the two.
What did we give it?
4s.
4s.
This
Didn't we
is
like something? What did we give the?
no. This is the 4s.
Okay, I thought we gave the Genesee.
No, that was 3.5s.
Okay,
And I tried to save that for Dave, but I couldn't on account of I was
you
drinking.
lost them.
Yes. Into my belly. Because I had run out of beer. Now, Dave, you keep your opinions to yourself.
Okay.
You drink that beer for a little bit,
That's a good.
and then we'll come back to you, okay?
Think about it.
I had the number one. Speaking of European beers, had the number one beer in the world.
What is the number one beer in the world? Because and who is the adjudicator in such
who's
a
the-
situation?
I think was it Beer Advocate or whatever.
Okay, so
Nerds.
Yeah, nerds. Oh, it's all nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it won it since 2010. I think it's won it 6 times or something like that.
What's the name of this beer?
It's Westfaletteren
And who makes it?
Monks.
And where is
Wait,
that?
hold on. What is Monks? A brewery or actual monks?
Actual monks.
So, like in the same way that
that liqueur that
green chartreuse and yellow chartreuse are made by monks.
Yes.
West Floridian is also made by
Westfaletteren.
West
That's what you
Floridian.
said, yeah.
What am I? Am I not
By the way, did you believe that story? Because I don't know if I believe that story.
the monks thing?
Yeah.
I've looked into
Not
it.
only is
It's a fact.
not only is that a fact, these monks they are
I did. I looked into it. It's real.
they are
Shouldn't that shit be like $1,000 a bottle then?
no, check this out.
Yes.
They've been like Europeans love it, but you have to go to the monastery to get it, and bars will, and I guess grocers will make the pilgrimage and buy as much as they can. They release it at weird times, and they don't make a shit ton of them. But something like 15 years ago, the monastery needed a roof. So they decided to go ahead and overproduce, and I think they sent some to America even, and it all sold out, and they put a new roof on, and
they went back
No,
to
they cut it back.
and on eBay I don't know, I haven't checked recently, but like in 2013 you could buy an empty bottle with a bottle cap for $25 plus shipping, because it was that like, I mean, you remember like in 2014, 2015, morons were standing in line at like
Oh, yeah.
Triple Crossing for 2 hours
Shit, that was-
in the middle of a work day.
that was happening in 2020 with liquors.
Well, I'm
around
just saying,
here, yeah.
like compare. I mean, this is like the hardest beer to get, number one rated. I mean, it's all of that Veil and Triple Crossing on.
Oh, so you're back to
steroids.
talking about the West Floridian.
Yes.
Okay. I thought we were still talking about the chartreuse.
No, I wasn't talking about the chartreuse the whole time. The Westfaletteren.
Oh, you
No,
were
no. We were talking
Yeah.
about chartreuse
No, these
because
guys,
that's also made by monks.
yeah, these monks. This beer, they needed a roof for the
was
monastery.
confusing.
Okay. No, because what's interesting about that story is I had heard a similar story. This is where the holes.
Yeah, this is where now my doubt is
Yeah,
skyrocketing.
but no. Here's where the deviation was. I had heard a similar version of this story that the chartreuse monks needed some things, and they had a vote about should we up production, and they thought we could ruin the integrity and the purity of the liquor if we increase production. So they did not. And it ended up costing them. But they wanted to hold the precision of the liqueur.
Yeah.
And I was told this by a dude in Hungary. So it was a bartender. So I was like, gospel. And he said that he's been investing in bottles of chartreuse because he doesn't believe that they will release more. And he thinks that if he holds on to enough of them, as the shortage occurs, he can actually sell them for more. And he's like, I may be able to pay off my house. And I was like, you've lost your fucking mind.
Yeah.
But he was like, at worst, it's worth what it was.
Yeah.
At best, it goes up in value because they sent out some document that said they're not going to produce.
But what's a bottle of it cost?
Apparently, it's ludicrous. I walk into bars all the time and I go, do you have chartreuse? Because there's a drink I like called The Last Word. And The Last Word is made with chartreuse, green chartreuse. And the vast majority of liquor bars I go to can't do it. But whenever I find a bar that prides itself on their liquor drinks, I go, can you do a Last Word? And I order them bitches.
What's that cost?
It's usually not that much more. But like just having it is a sign of prestige in the liquor world. So I order that particular drink. It's good. It's not the greatest drink I've ever had, but there's something about like they can do it that gets me excited. So I order them. And I find most bars can't.
So Dave was talking about the beer.
The West Floridian.
Yeah. So and now he's been researching something, so I'm guessing he's doubling down on his...
Well, but it's interesting that it's a similar story, but one monastery went one way and one went the other way. And so I'm just wondering if all of this is wives' tales.
Yes, it's got to be.
Because a lot of these monks are just meth addicts.
Well, you got to think
It's a whole other thing.
And Racetail was like, it's this one group, and I'm like, then there would be, you wouldn't have a bottle. Like, you just wouldn't have a bottle.
No, the fact that I'm in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and I'm going, can you make a Last Word? And they go,
All right.
we do.
Look at this source, look at the date, and read the headline.
Okay, NPR. I mean, that's pretty good. A sign from above, needing new roof, monks sell rare beer in U.S.
And from 2012.
2012. Now,
Almost nailed that.
Well, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying I don't necessarily believe.
This beer sells for $85 for a 6-pack.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean,
In 2012.
But I'm saying if it's
Yeah.
as rare as you say it is,
It is.
it would be 10 times that.
No, I mean they make enough. They're happy. They got their roof.
Dude, how much beer does fucking a microbrew make, and what do they charge? I mean, they charge through the fucking roof.
Well, this monastery, a bunch of monks moved into an abandoned church in 1610. I don't think their overhead is that high. It's a tiny monastery in northwest Brussels.
Okay, let me ask you, because
That's where the beer's made, Brussels?
Yeah.
and yeah, I got my own issues with Belgian beers, but this beer, this is the #1 rated beer on Beer Advocate.
I mean, probably not since 2019, but multiple times, yes.
Okay, you know who else has achieved the #1 beer, Beer Advocate, for a whole year? Is Hardywood here in Richmond with their gingerbread stout.
Well, probably in 2014 or
The
2013.
year that they spilled the shit,
and
and it
everyone
became-
lost their shit for that.
There is something about beer nerds when they hear exclusivity,
Yeah.
and there is a finite amount and a tremendous demand. Then they taste it and they go, "I was going to give it an 80, but it's 100."
Yeah.
Well, gingerbread stout changed. It blew people's minds.
It literally got 100
right.
on Beer Advocate.
It blew everyone's mind. I
So
mean,
for
now
1
it's
year, though, I'm saying we did have that beer here. So
Yeah.
this beer has
multiple
done it
times.
multiple times.
Multiple
So this
times.
is like a Michelin star. I mean, there's
Yes.
no denying
Yes.
that it's a badge of honor.
Yes. And even if you don't like quadruple multi,
So is that what I was going to say? What kind of
it's a quad.
style? It's a quad. Mm-hmm. So it's strong as fuck.
Super plum.
13%.
Actually, no, I was surprised because I read the bottle, which, by the way, I've had West Valletta multiple times, and even during the heyday, I had a buddy who would spend like $500 to get a case. You wanted to hit objection.
No,
You missed.
I wanted to hit like some fancy music because you're like, well, I've had this beer multiple times anyway.
Well, my whole point was
I think you nailed it.
12 years ago, they didn't have a label and they didn't even have markings on the bottle cap. And I had it at Dow Jones, and it had a label, and it had markings on the bottle cap. I'm like, hey, look at these guys.
Okay, so you had the West Floridian.
West Valletta.
Is he saying the same word?
You're saying West Floridian, like some.
What are you saying? I feel like we're saying
you
the
gotta
same
say it
word.
in Spanish for him to understand now.
Oh, West Floridian.
Yeah.
There's no F in it.
To you, Spaniard, this is America
How do you spell West Floridian?
with a V,
Okay. All right.
just off the Gulf of America.
Duh.
Suck it up, Buttercup. You're in my world now.
Back-to-back World War champs.
Dude, haven't lost one
Yeah.
yet. Haven't lost one yet. And until AI takes over, we won't. Look,
Well, I sent you that listing, right? You could order it from one of those brokers. One bottle,
it costs
$54 plus shipping.
Yeah, no, that was ludicrous. So
People buy it. People
What
pay that.
was the market price at Dow Jones?
€20
All right, you've had this.
multiple
Please.
times.
Oh, this motherfucker. This motherfucker.
I'm
Okay.
fancy.
He
I
has
thought-
it at his house, probably.
I only had 3 beers the whole journey.
Yeah.
I never said that.
I mean,
Never said that.
13.
Yeah. A night.
Okay. So you had the West Floridian, West Floridian, whatever you want to call it. You had the West Floridian. Mm-hmm. And it was a quad. Mm-hmm. But malty as fuck.
Yep.
That tells me like
I'll
there's no way-
I'll help you guys out.
Yeah,
You ready?
He's gonna give us to it.
You guys.
Give us to it. Give it to us.
You reviewed the St. Bernardus, I think, Christmas Ale.
Yeah, that was tough.
Right.
I didn't like that beer.
That's not as good as the St. Bernardus Quad. The Christmas Ale is different than the Quad. But the story goes that one of the monks from West Valletta
you
moved
tie
out.
monk to something, it's fucking automatic.
It's made by monks.
It's automatic.
The Trappist area in Belgium, that is famous. There's like 4 or 5 monasteries that brew beer, and it's well known.
For the record,
It's well known.
I find Belgian beers to be very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Very.
Trappist is different.
Okay, now I understand that but I'm just saying, in general, that whole beer style, singles I tend to like. Le Choff is the closest thing I can get to a Belgian.
Well, I
that
noticed
am.
that you guys hate triples. I actually like triples.
Yeah. And so quads,
And triple's a completely different beer than a quad. Like nowhere, it's night and day.
it should just be one more.
I think,
It should be. Yeah,
I think that's how it works.
That's what you would think, but it's a completely different beer.
Okay, maybe I'm.
Triples have that like nutmeggy.
Yes,
bit
and
to
that's
it.
exactly what I'm assuming.
Quads have like a plum base.
That's
Okay,
disgusting.
this is going to be. You ever get mushu pork? You ever had mushu anything?
Maybe, I don't know.
There's
Probably
a
not.
plum sauce that comes with it. Never had it?
That doesn't ring a bell.
I'm trying to figure out if this
plum sauce
is-
comes in every Chinese restaurant. You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Plum sauce. Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to figure out, is this in the ballpark of a plum sauce?
I can't believe that this beer that's a quad and plum based is the best beer in the world. I
It
just
sounds
can't.
horrible.
Very complex.
Yeah.
Okay, when you had it, did you think to yourself,
I just had the best beer in the world.
I was like,
Good question.
Hello, old friend.
no, really?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were.
seriously.
I've had this so many times.
I've had like $1,000 worth of it, which is like a case.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you one of these. Oh, no. No, there it is.
Yeah.
Your money, that's your money spot in the middle. So, was it genuinely, like, did you think to yourself, this is the best beer I've ever had?
It's like the gingerbread stout. I mean, as an analogy. It's like, oh, I can tell that
Truly
this is
unique, full of flavor.
But if you have St. Bernardus, not the Christmas ale, but their quad, it's really close.
Okay, so you would say an approximation I could get at Total Wine right
Yes,
now.
you could get 90% of the experience, maybe more, with St. Bernardus.
Have we done St. Bernardus Standard on the podcast? I don't believe we have.
Probably not.
None of it sounds familiar.
I think it's called St. Bernardus ABT or something like that.
Well, you figure it out. In fact, Dave, I challenge you.
Oh, to buy it?
Yeah. Bring us the one.
Well, I never back down from a challenge. Oh, wait.
Bring
That
both
sounds
of them.
expensive.
Bring both of them so we can go against each other.
I used to have bottles.
Of the West Floridian?
Yeah, I had like a 12 pack, and I would share it with like a 12 ouncer. I would share with 3 people once every 6 months, and that lasted, 5 years. Cried when the last one was gone.
He's so much better than us.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Except I obtained those for no cost.
Oh.
So
Now Brennan's out.
No, I assume he just put in some.
you had me at $54.
Yeah.
No, he's like, I had this tennis elbow. It's a blowjob elbow. So, you can't get your hands on West Floridian now, though. You don't have a connection.
You can. It's
no,
really
do you
pricey.
have a connection? No. Outside of like the standard.
No.
Anyone can go online and get it. You can't get us this.
So I have a buddy who does collect that, but last time we hung out was, 8 years ago, and I'm pretty sure, much like everyone else, he's probably not as
But the Saint
Into
Bernard,
it.
hard.
the Saint Bernardus, though, you can get. And
Yes.
you would say
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a close
It's all over.
approximation. All right.
Go to Total Wine. They have.
Could you bring us that next week? What is this?
I mean, you're breaking the fourth wall, making me produce on air, commit to production.
What are we doing?
Well, you give a man 2 weeks off and he just thinks, he
just
can
gone.
run rampant.
You have send me a text the day before to remind me. I'll forget. I'm going to a family reunion this weekend. I don't.
Well,
have,
let's not let our little show get in your way, buddy. Fucking Stu Light over here. Oh, sorry, I got another vacation I'm going on.
It's not a
See
vacation.
you guys later.
Not a vacation.
Can we not call him Stu Light? It's too heavy.
Whatever.
for another year?
I mean, honestly, you look relatively svelte for a guy who's been on vacation eating paella and drinking.
Still obese.
Still drink. By definition?
Yep.
Isn't that the worst definition? It's heartbreaking.
I have to lose like another 20 pounds to be morbidly heavy, morbidly overweight.
Which is perfect. You just want to be morbid.
Right.
Just morbid.
I'm like, oh, I only have a 400% chance of a heart attack instead of 2,000.
Let you know a little
Moving in
secret.
the right direction.
I'll have a heart attack before you.
Coke does weird things.
Let you in
I
a
don't
little,
even do it. I don't do
let you in a little secret. A lot of that's just pure genetics.
Yeah. Although you don't see,
So I'm saying.
you don't see
There's been a lot of
lot
people in my family who died of heart attack.
You don't see a lot of rotund people in the nursing home.
No.
Yeah, that's a little worrisome.
But you're no longer rotund. Everyone in this room is no longer rotund.
That's
You don't-
not what my app says.
You don't see. I mean, old people put weight on, so you do see more. I mean, they're not 500 pounds, but most people weigh more as they get older. It's hard to keep the weight off.
No, it goes the opposite way. No, well, it depends how old you're talking about. I'm saying like elderly people, to have some weight on you is actually a really good sign.
Yeah, there's definitely what do they call it? Where your fat disappears, wasting. There's definitely wasting at a certain
Yeah.
age.
Well, if you're 80 and you got a little weight on
Look,
you,
if you're
fucking
80
doing great.
Right.
And if you're in your 80s, you're playing with house money. You've outlived the average anyway.
And if you're a
but how
little
many
bit-
74-year-olds look like John Candy?
They don't.
Right.
You know, because we called
it's
the
not from
herd.
wasting.
We called the herd before 50 with them.
Or at least before 60.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Come on. We don't want
The
anything.
amount of heart attacks at 55.
Ludicrous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. But there's the thing, like if you're super skinny when you're young, that doesn't bode well for a long life.
What?
And if you have a little bit of weight on you as you get into
Yeah, I
your
mean, you can be
70s
too skinny.
Yeah, but if you have a little weight on you into your 70s, That bodes well for a longer life.
Adam Carolla tells a story where he asked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar if he was worried about dying early and he was like, you never see really old, really tall people. And he was like, why would you say that? I've never thought about that ever. But you don't.
Yeah.
You don't see like 6'8" really tall old people.
No, it just because.
Well, they didn't have those good hormones in their chicken until like the 70s.
Yeah, we got that shit now.
Yeah.
We're looking good. All right, Dave, I'm going to take a quick step back. Mm-hmm. You've been drinking the Groove City Hefeweizen for a little bit. He's enjoyed it. He's tasted it.
Don't
He
let
knows what's up.
our scores.
Yeah, I want to know that
affect
because
you.
this dude hates Hefeweizens that are not European. I feel like this is a great approximation of the American Hefeweizen. Where do you stand on this? Because we gave it 4s, and I want your critical palate to let us know if this truly is like awesome.
You're too kind. I don't think my palate's that great, quite frankly.
But it's very
We
discerning.
didn't say great. We said critical.
Critical on Hefeweizens. You're a Hefeweizen guy.
So I'm getting way less of that banana that you come to expect. And I know you guys were going crazy about the amount of banana.
We're not European Hefeweizen guys. We just like the style. We like American Hefeweizens. Sometimes European Hefeweizens can be too bitey, too much pepper. There's a lot of shit going on. What do you think of this beer just on its own? Don't hold it to European standards. Don't hold it to American standards. Just what's up with that beer?
I think it's a tasty beer. I don't think it's a 4.
What is it?
It's no less than it's a 3.5 for me.
It was exactly what I was
But
hoping.
I would not judge anyone that said it's a 4, and I would not judge anyone that says it's a 3.
No, but I wanted your critical palate because we went 4-4, and that's so rare. And
It's
I wanted
still a
to,
3.83.
which I think is
4 to me is like, oh my gosh, this is
no. I'm with you.
That's what we thought.
ridiculous.
And we were blown away by it. So the fact that you even go 3.5, because we had a Hefeweizen out here a couple months ago that you like panned when we were like, it's really good. And we both thought this might actually be a really tasty beer. So 3.5.
yeah, it doesn't do anything wrong.
That's exactly what we
Yeah.
said.
It is tasty. It doesn't. My life hasn't changed.
It didn't change our lives. We actually moved on. I was able to keep that in there. I wasn't able to keep the 3.5 shitty Genesee Ruby Red.
I
in my
wanted to
cooler.
try that.
I wanted you to too, and then I was drinking. But this is the one that I was more curious about for you.
No, it's a great beer.
So 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So Troy, the deli holds.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Maybe not the highest ranked deli we've ever had, but 383. I mean, it's pretty fucking solid.
I tried to remove the descriptor and just like, do I like the flavor of this liquid?
Yeah.
And I
That's how
did.
I think you should look at it. I just know that you tend to be very, very harsh when it comes to.
I might have been low energy Dave that day. You never know.
I tell you, Spain did you well. You don't seem to be low energy Dave today, and I appreciate that.
I worked out. I brought you my shoulder reliever.
Yeah, that thing's weird. So you're buying in. So Dave's on this little kick right now where anything that shows up on Facebook.
If it promises to cure my shoulder pain, I'm like, I'm in. I've given like blowjobs to fucking medicine men.
Did it work?
Whoa.
Fucking liars. Don't believe everything on Facebook.
Not for the 7th or 8th time.
Right.
I find shamans are full of shit.
There was a placebo effect for the first like 3.
I think I'm getting stronger. It's probably just the protein.
Well, I was using my hand too, so there's got to be some rotator cuff.
That's probably where the
Movements.
injury came from.
Dave bought one of these things that has it's
Joy says it's a ball gag.
well, it looks more like a lightsaber with a cord hanging off of it with,
Kind of looks like a mace.
with a ball on the end. Yeah,
Oh, mace
like
is a good
Like you would
Mace.
beat the shit out of somebody
and then
with it.
he just swings it around and he says it's going to relieve his shoulder pain. And I tried it tonight.
You felt it.
And after I did the proper amount of rotations in all the different degrees that you told me to hold it in, what I think it did more than anything was just rushed blood to the area of pain. Which,
Part of recovery.
but isn't that it, right? You want blood to rush to that area.
But think about when you haven't worked out ever and you go to the gym the first day, you're like, oh, what is this weirdness? And you're not like, I just got stronger. So it's a 40-day program. You'll strengthen that rotator cuff area.
I don't hate on this.
Right.
This isn't all right. But I do. I like your stupid alpha grips thing you saw.
Right.
So that's like this. You squeeze. Like your typical hard ball that you would have to squeeze to like strengthen your tendons in your forearms. But then it has this weird thing. You stick your fingers in, and you have to extend your fingers. And that actually gets the tendons on the top side of your arm.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's like 12 things that no lift ever touches.
Yeah, and I've been doing that because I've been having a lot
Yeah,
of
because
like,
everything you do is grabby.
Yeah.
so I've been having a ton of like elbow pain and wrist pain even, and I've been doing that. I bought that one on your recommendation, and I've been doing that, and I actually think it works.
And I think it's going to work after like the third month. Like it's not going to solve it in a week.
No, it hasn't solved anything.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I'm feeling some relief, and any relief from where I was is a positive.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm happy with it. I don't know about this shoulder thing because I'm not using it, but what I like about the grip strength thing and the extender thing is that I can do it while watching TV. So I can,
And you can watch your forearm actually flexing while you're doing it. So you're like, oh, it must be working.
But there's something nice to be said about tricking yourself into being like, the wife's like, you're just watching TV, and you're like,
I'm working out, bitch.
I'm actually doing physical therapy.
Getting swole.
Just doing physical therapy. Just bettering myself while watching this stupid show. Which, Troy, I'll have you know, I caught up on Wrexham. I'm all the way to the current episode, and I'm now waiting.
I'm still waiting. No, we're fully up.
Yeah, I'm with you now. I'm right with you, and I refuse to look up to see if they won the season because I want to like watch it unfold.
So good.
It's fucking wild how that works.
Yup.
Guess you don't watch it.
Nope.
Super help. Did you watch any TV when you were over there, or was it like
Zero.
Isn't that a nice feeling when you're traveling?
Yep.
And it's like there's enough stuff going on that you're
I find getting off your phone to be the best.
Yeah, how much were you using your phone over there?
Because of my medicine that makes me allergic to the sun, beach days aren't exactly
A fun time.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had to stay inside when the
Or
crew
in the
was
shade.
In the shade, yeah. So, they're like, let's go swimming. I'm like, I'm just going to like get wet and then sit here and be soggy on a fucking pharmacy beach towel,
Yeah.
not even a chair.
out. All right, so we know what your wife did. So what did you do?
I laid down on a towel and looked at my phone
Yeah.
with the waves crashing. But I think we only had like 3 beach days. And by beach days, I mean like 3 hours we would tour a castle. We would have an awesome lunch. Then we go out on the beach. And
Yeah, sitting on a beach all day to me is not an idea of a good time.
it is when I used to drink,
Yes.
like going to
But that's
the Outer
what it
Banks
was.
and spending all day with your friends
Yeah.
under an umbrella and drinking heavily and peeing
the
in the
best.
ocean. It was
Yeah.
like that's how I want to retire.
That is kind of the best day. You just sit there, you giggle on the beach, nothing happens. No phone, no bullshit. Maybe a little music.
Throw some bocce every now and again.
Yeah. And then you just watch the waves crash, slowly get drunk, piss in the ocean.
Yep.
It's kind of like my favorite day.
Yeah.
Can't argue with it.
No, that's a fun way to retire. But like when you're traveling, like I'd rather go do and see some shit I don't get to do and see.
Well, you have to do that. I'm saying you have your down days.
Yeah. We went to
But that's why we're like now going to the Outer Banks for a week doesn't interest me at all.
Because you've lost.
Well, I've just done it a million times.
I still love it.
But it's because you've also lost like the drink on the beach days.
Yes, but I mean, I stopped.
So you've
going, I
explored.
stopped going to the Outer Banks.
I'm
and
saying
renting
you've
a house.
explored everything. So it literally got
Yeah.
reduced to the drink on the beach days.
Yeah,
Which at that point, it's like, what are we doing?
yeah. And it's just so much work.
It's always work.
Yeah.
You should get a Yeti cooler.
No.
I got a family beach vacation coming up in a few weeks, and I'm looking at it on the horizon, and all it is, like tomorrow I don't have to work, and so I got to do some stuff early in the morning, but like the whole rest of my day is like I got to go out here to get this, and I got to go out here to get this, and it's all like little things that I need to make the family happy, to make the beach trip happy. It's not
What
even,
are those things?
like I need a new like a bag that goes on the back. We have a trailer hitch that has like a cargo hauler. And, like,
Yours is sun damaged.
I need it. Just started rotting.
Yeah.
Like now there's holes in it.
Yep.
It's no longer effective.
It's a weatherproof bag.
Yeah, you could like put all your shit in. But then
Yeah.
I also want to get one for the roof of the car.
Yeah.
So like I need to get that. It's like I
have a shell.
Do you like the shell?
I love it.
The hard shell that clamps down. You like it?
Oh, it's amazing.
Is that the escargot?
It is.
From Sears?
It is.
Oh,
the Sears
that's a
one.
classic, dude. You have the escargot
Yeah,
for real
you've
with the
seen
snake.
it.
Yeah,
I've
now that
carried
you say it,
stuff
on the
in it.
minivan,
Yeah,
you used to
yeah.
have it. No shit.
Yeah.
And you've had it for how long?
15 years.
And you would still ride with it tomorrow? Like,
Yeah.
no need to replace it.
Plastic. What could go wrong with it?
What do those cost? Do you have any idea?
It was like $200 at the time.
Well, fuck, I'm about to spend 150.
Dude, you can
bucks.
find them on Marketplace for $50.
You can borrow mine. It's sitting. I haven't used it in years.
You would look really cool with it.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck about looking cool. I want to haul a bunch of shit
Yeah.
and get it down there and pull the escargot off.
Dude,
I'm still going to put the one on the back on the tailgate because I love.
The escargot holds so much shit.
It does.
You don't need the thing on the back.
I got coolers and shit.
Dude, when we
and
had,
I'm hauling dogs in the truck.
yeah,
with the kid.
that's why we
That's-
had it.
that's
we had,
the X factor.
we had
Yeah,
the two
literally,
kids.
the entire vehicle is
Okay.
is life forms.
Yes, yes.
There is
That's-
no storage in the vehicle.
We would put every bag, everything we took would go in that thing, and then the kids would be in the.
Yeah, you don't want to
the
lift a
dog
cooler
would
over
be-
your head.
Well,
to
and
put
it's not rated to hold all that kind of weight.
So with like all the clothes,
Yeah.
you can get in the escargot.
Yeah.
I might have to come over and look at that before I go purchase, because I was going to purchase a soft-sided bag.
Yeah.
That goes on the roof,
Yeah.
and then a separate bag that goes on the carrier, and then just load, carbon life forms.
Those
vehicle.
those soft-sided bags on the roof always sketch me out.
They sketch me out too. Do I need anything special, or is it just like I have my standard cross rails and I have
That's all you need.
I have vertical, horizontal,
Yep.
like kind of.
That's all you need. And it's got a bunch of holes in the bottom, and you just run the U-bolts up, and it's got these twisty things. You just wrench them down. There's 4 points of contact.
So not watertight.
Yeah, it's watertight.
Oh.
I mean, watertight from above.
Yeah.
If water's crashing down on the roof of your car and splashing,
I mean,
up,
if you're in a torrential downpour
That's
and you're
what I
driving 80, I don't know.
Okay.
But I mean, I've driven it in the rain. Like it's
I'm just giving,
no.
preventative
The-
advice.
I'll lay a trash bag on the bottom.
There
of
you
it.
go.
the top lip covers the.
Yeah. No, I'm talking
You know,
about
outside-
splashes
Oh, yeah.
from below.
No, I don't think that would happen.
Not worried. You around tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. Inside talk. We don't need to do
Yeah.
this for the podcast.
Well,
In
let's
fact, we
wrap
don't
it
need to
up.
do any of this on
That's
the fucking
right.
podcast. Let me talk to you in 2 minutes.
Sounds good.
Dave, you got a quip ready for us? Because I've already been saying. Did you hear any of our quips at the end of the episode?
Yeah, they were like, "Fuck off, Dave. He sucks." It was pretty good.
No.
Nope. He didn't hear them. Cool.
I did hear him.
That's great. I love it.
All right, Stu.
No shit. He stewed us, dude.
I did hear.
Dude, that's
You're gonna be
what?
fat again. That was,
That's
that
not-
was a good one.
No one said that. That's not nice.
That's what you hear
Dave.
in your own head.
Yeah, that's in your head.
I mean, Oprah can do it. So can I.
What, yo-yo her weight?
Yeah.
Oprah's a yo-yo motherfucker. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We certainly do appreciate it. If we had to give you a recommendation, go get them Old Bay goldfish.
Yes.
I do think those are actually a winner.
Pretty tasty.
Pretty tasty. If you drop ITPH in the coupon code when you order them, it'll say coupon code not valid.
So you can try it.
But
Really?
if you drop ITPH in the coupon code at Nectar Sunglasses, it will be valid and it'll give you 20% off. And that's a pretty good deal. So go check out some polarized sunglasses that look good. If you need a mortgage, head over to screendoormortgage.com. Ask for Jimmy. He's the one who's going to answer the phone either way. But if you know him by name, He'll be like, damn, you knew my name?
Put ITPH in the discount code.
Yeah. And he'll say, hey,
Hey, I know those guys.
came from the podcast. There's no discounts. It's mortgages, people.
Swag.
Be honest.
You'll get swag.
You'll get swag. What you're looking for there is service.
Yes.
And that man has it.
He gives the best service.
The best. If you want to rate and review, you can always do so. If you have too much money, you can always send it to our Venmo.
At Inside the Pallet House.
If you have topics you want us to talk about, just send them in to insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Figure out what it is you're talking about, what you're thinking about, what you're concerned with, or what you found fucking hilarious. We'd love to talk about it. Lord knows we're looking for content.
We
had to
could
send
use
Dave.
your help.
We had to send Dave all the way to fucking Spain.
Yeah, that really put a dent in our Venmo account.
Big time. Big time. Dave's not going to lose enough weight for Aaron to carry us for another trip.
He's got to fix his car. He's off the hook.
Dude, literally.
Yeah.
You heard that
He's
one.
off the hook. Listen, I'm a listener.
All right, Dave's off the hook.
For now.
Wait until my quip.
Fucking dick. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We certainly do appreciate it. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?
A little too Dave-centric.
Something tells me that wasn't his final quip.
No.
He's going to drop a dagger.
Yes.
Brendan conduce una mirada. Brendan es una pera.
Rude.